sports fans, how you doing tonight? This is our preview show for the Browns game. The Ravens, they're a tough team, but they're a divisional opponent, and it's a must-win for us, really. I mean, could we come back and still make the playoffs after a loss? Yes, but it would be much easier if we beat the Ravens when we play them. So, hopefully we can get it done. Now, I've heard a lot of people saying, we should trade for Jalen Ramsey, which I don't think we need to do because we have good cornerbacks. Offensive tackle Trent Williams, I could see getting him, but I think the price for him is going to be too high because, the Texans gave the farm for Laramie Tunsil, and that's pretty much driven up the price for Trent Williams. And I don't think we're going to give up as much as they did to get that guy. So, one thing people have to remember is last season. Last season, our offensive line didn't play well in the first few weeks of the season. We did okay. We tied the Steelers and should have beaten the Saints. But come week 3 and the Jets on Thursday night, well, Tyrod again running for his life, and he gets hurt. In comes Baker Mayfield. We end up winning that game. Next week, he starts, and at that time, the offensive line started to play together and stopped making the dumb penalties as much and, kind of gelled. And Baker's attitude brought out good things in the whole team, including the offensive line. And he also, if no one's ever noticed, Baker, when he's playing at his best, when he's most confident, he has a knack for feeling the pressure and just stepping away from it. Not just stepping up or stepping back. He steps to the left, steps to the right. He knows where it's coming from. It's like uncanny for him. And that's one of the things that makes him good. But he hasn't been able really to do that because he's been having people coming from him at all angles. And a lot of talk is that we got to get the ball out of his hand. This is true, but at the same we've got to do things to help him. And, although we did start to run the ball against the Rams, what we need is the play action. That's going to help tremendously. And if we could get Rashard Higgins back, I believe he's questionable to play this game. Hopefully he gets in because without Njoku, Rashard Higgins is Baker's go-to guy. When they're doubling Odell and they've got another good corner on Jarvis, Rashard Higgins always finds a way to get open and Baker can get it to him. So he's kind of like that outside outlet, not just the Chubb, toss over to the side. Higgins is out there running routes and can get some chunk yardage. So hopefully we can get him back. We've had Ratley and Willie's in there here and there. They're good development players, but Rashard Higgins has been in the league for 4 years now. He's much better, and he's got a rapport with Baker. So hopefully he can get back. And here's one other thing to think about. We've gone up against some of the top defenses. The Rams are the number 3 defense in the league. The Titans, number 8. Now the Jets, they're number 20, but when we played them, they were depleted. We know that. But the Ravens have gone against some of the worst defenses. And I'm not saying that covering Lamar Jackson is going to be easy, but we've got to try to do it. Yeah, the Ravens, they've really only gone up against some of the worst defenses. The Miami Dolphins, come on. They gave up 100 points in 2 games. I believe it's up to 135 or something in 3. So, yeah, one of the worst defenses in the league. The Arizona Cardinals, no good. The Chiefs, great offense. Their defense is in the bottom 12 at least. So they haven't been going up against stellar defenses. And yeah, we have a better defense. But one thing that we need to happen is for one of our corners. They're both listed as questionable, again, from hamstrings. We need one of them to play because Marquise Brown is too fast for any of our other corners. Both our starters, Greedy Williams and Denzel Ward, they both have 4.3 speed. One of them needs to play to cover Hollywood Brown from the Ravens because the dude's fast. So if one of them doesn't play, that can make it real tough. But, hopefully one of them plays. I believe they've been saying that Greedy Williams is close to returning. So, maybe he'll be the guy that can play and cover that guy. But, another thing to look at, the Ravens, they give up a lot of passing yards. So, this could be the week that the Browns can break out and get those yardage and those touchdowns that we've been looking for, They are good at covering the run. In practice they have to cover Ingram and Jackson running all over the place. So they're good at covering the run. It might be bad for Nick Chubb, but he's still, a good enough power back that, hopefully he can get some yardage. I love Nick Chubb. He's a great running back, and, I always hope the best for him. But it could be a bad game for him. But at least we do have to get him trying so that the play action pass works. Because if you don't at least try to run him, it's not going to be any good. But, hopefully we can do that. Now, one of the reasons why their defense has been giving up a lot of passing yards is Jimmy Smith. Their best cornerback has been out since the first game. And I don't believe he's returning for this one, so he's still going to be out. So, hopefully that works out in our favor. And the other thing is the Ravens, they don't have a lot of depth at cornerback. That can work in our favor too. So this game is not out of grasp. We can win this game if we're working on all cylinders. So hopefully we can do that. Okay, now I've seen something on a story from 12 Up, which I don't like that website. If I click on something I see 12 Up loading, I delete it. But it piqued my interest, so I actually read it. And it was about Damarious Randall and how he didn't believe that he had a concussion, and there's a conspiracy theory with the Browns. Now, maybe they got something from him on the outside, but if they're just going off of what was said at the press conference from him, I get it. He didn't feel like he had a concussion, but I'm one who's had lots of concussions. I jumped out of airplanes for the military 100 and something times, and older I got, the bigger I got, and the harder I hit. And I've had some where I didn't realize I was concussed, and people would tell me, yeah, there's something off about you. You need to go get checked out. Well, so I can understand how that can be the case. And Randall's one of my favorite players on the team, and I'm glad he's back for this game because we really need him. So, Damarious, I hope you're feeling better and come in and let's do what we got to do to win this game. Now, on other injury news, Njoku, it's been reported that he's denying getting surgery. So he's hoping to be back soon. They put him on the IR, so he's got to be out to 8 weeks. But by not getting the surgery, that's going to get him back after those 8 weeks. The other guy coming back soon is Antonio Callaway. This is his last week of his suspension. So next week, it'd be great to get Rashard Higgins back, but next week we know we're getting someone back in one of our receivers in Antonio Callaway. So that'll be good, but we need to focus on this week. Now, looking at the Baltimore defense, a couple guys that we need to watch out for. Matthew Judon. He is one of the nastiest players in the league, as in he's a dirty player, and we need to keep him off of Baker. The other guy, the guy that's keeping their secondary afloat, is Earl Thomas. He's a ball hawk, from playing in Seattle, but he's there in Baltimore now, and he's been talking junk about Baker, so I really hope we can steamroll this week because I don't like the way he was talking. He's only been playing for the Ravens for 3 games, you know. Yeah, it's his team now, but come on, you haven't been in this conference for long enough to talk junk. When it comes to their offense, the keys of the game are Lamar Jackson, who he's throwing the ball a lot better this year, but you know, mostly you have to worry about is running. And they've also got Mark Ingram to run the ball. So, you know, they're almost like a dual running back threat. But their other person I already discussed was Hollywood Brown. The dude's he's fast. So, you know, he's had some breakout touchdowns, and we need to get him covered. So hopefully Greedy comes back and can cover him. I would love to have Denzel back too, but, you know, as long as one of them's there to cover that guy, I'll be okay. The last word on this game, and it's my new catchphrase. Miles, smash. Let's beat Baltimore. Follow me on Twitter. I'm at Jackson82ND. And we can discuss anything that we've talked about. We can talk about things in the future that you want to talk about. But have a great night, and go Browns.
Here we go, Brownies. Here we go.
Click like and subscribe. If you'd like to discuss something, leave a comment. Thank you.